You learned how to say them years ago,
And there's a good chance that they're not actually sounding that natural.
so let's take a look at how to pronounce the months of the year in American English pronunciation with some quick tips. Before we actually look at the months though, just something that you want to keep in mind. American English is stress timed. That means we put emphasis on the stressed syllable. All the other syllables we want to be very weak and at a lower pitch. This has a huge impact on months. For instance, in the word January. January. Do you hear how heavy that first syllable is? Jan. All the other syllables, you wary, you wary. It's like taking a step down every time. You wary, you wary. You also want to do that really fast. Make sure you're finishing on an E sound. Make sure you're also pronouncing an. Get the air out of your nose right before that N. An. Jan. January. Which month do you think is going to be the hardest to say? Let me know in the comments. February. February. Notice that that first R is not usually pronounced. February. March. March. Make sure that the R is present, but not the dominant sound. Try to say it 3 times. March, March, March. If you find that you're saying March, 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 that's a sign that your R sound is too strong. Another example of that, try saying R 3 times. R, R, R. If you find that you're saying R, 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 that's again a sign that your R sound is a little too strong. Or if you're saying March, well, that's a sign that you have no R, so we want to make that R just a little more present. March. April. April. The hardest thing here is going to be that second syllable. Make sure you're not saying pril, pril. It's pro. We're ending on a dark L sound. The front of your tongue is actually down here. The back of your tongue is a little high, and you want lots of air to pass through. April. April. Go heavy on the first syllable. May. May. Notice that at the end of the word, my mouth stays open. May. If you find that you're doing a, may, well, that's a sign that you're tensing things up, blocking air. So we want to try to keep it open with lots of breath moving. May. June. June. The key thing here is that oo sound. Look at my lips. Notice how straight they are. Oo, Ju, June. Try not to round your lips because that tends to cause people to get really tense and shift your sound. So it becomes more like Ju, but we want Ju. The other thing is for the sound, make sure that you're not adding a syllable before the N. So it's not ooin, it's oon. June. July. July. Make sure that when you're saying that lie sound, keep the tip of your tongue down and hold that I sound with lots of breath. I, lie, July. See how weak the first syllable is there? It's not July, it's July. August. August. The second syllable is not gust. So if you're saying August, not quite the sound we're going for, I recommend a short I sound like ist. August. September. September. My big suggestions here are make the first syllable very weak and finish with an R sound with lots of breath. It's like September, September, October, October. For this one, it can be helpful to just do the vowels. It's like o, Notice the first syllable is an sound like in stop or hot. Then you're going to an O sound. It's not O, it's not October, it's October. So you don't have to round your lips too tense. At the end, you can actually use straight lips if you want it. Oh, October, November, November. Really quick, how do you say M? M. Hold that M sound. If you find that you're doing M, that's a sign that you're shifting your placement really high, and that can cause your word to sound pretty tense and also blocks some air. But it's November, November, trying to keep everything low. December, December. You can say December too, but very often that first syllable is reduced to duh. December. If you've learned something about all of these months, even if you've spoken English for a long time, I bet I can still teach you some tricks for the alphabet too. Take a look at this video.